People back here, please discuss with your partners.
It's really creepy. It has to be upper quest.
Yeah. No, I played
Either that or UO.
So, I played female character as well.
Misogyny.
Like,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if.
Honestly, I never even noticed half the time.
So as a reminder, functional attribute means it has an effect on the gameplay as opposed to just the way your character looks. So it changes the way the game is played.
All.
So.
It should. This is more of the way people interact with you. So can you really call that changing the way the game plays rather than how other
There's at least
people
a
interact
faction
with you?
of them that are playing MMO because.
Well, discuss with your group and then we'll come back.
well, like, when people
Like, I know.
because they wanted to play.
One woman who plays Guild Wars, and so she wanted to play Guild Wars too.
Like I've been up to try my hardest.
Not a very good mage, but she tries.
Yeah, well, so.
Because if I do talk, they're gonna
Oh no, I
complain
know.
because
So
they
we
can't
were
play the board.
in an argument before. So
I get so mad. It's like, no, I'm
So
actually
anytime they
20
want to
and
it's just crazy.
So
a girl.
it really,
Whatever they talk about.
I think it really depends on
Well, and Bill
what
is
level
awesome, you know.
the
And then
Yeah,
so
I go,
you
well,
pick
well then
those
they don't
up.
leave me alone. Then you get like 5 friend
user
requests.
assumes that you're.
Like,
It sucks.
Get off as soon as possible. Yeah.
Ours was fairly more mellow when we had chicks. It was just like, okay,
Yeah.
other players. So honestly, our guild like viewed everyone else. I had myself followed by class.
We did too.
Basically,
Yeah.
Rules and
All right, take about 2 minutes to finish up.
all the raid leaders build officers were guys. If there was a girl, like, one position,
Whenever she
same
The
position
game
as
engine.
guys, same stat, same
you
everything.
make fun of her,
Probably
just,
pick the girl.
but I mean,
So
she,
it
her voice
just
is also,
to have some
it becomes.
diversity.
I don't, it does sound
You
much
know,
younger,
but
Yeah.
and so she always gets mad to, and it's like her friends always come in and
Supposed to say
ban them.
biggest. You have a typo in there.
Oh, sorry, do I?
I'm always
What is the typo?
a male.
It says biopsy instead of
Like
bigots.
when I play WoW.
I think that is actually what he called it. Perhaps the terminology has changed.
Let's check.
Okay, so let's bring it back together. So when I talk about cosmetic attributes, I mean your character's war paint or the color of his hair or maybe his gender. And when I talk about functional attributes, I mean either you have some kind of difference in stats or somehow it's reflected in the way that you play the game. So if you're a female in the game, you're not a good fighter, or if you're a male in the game, you're not good at casting magic. MMOs, is gender a functional attribute? What do you guys think?
It's that very gray area because at the game level, the rules of the game say nothing about whether or not you're male or female. It's the way other players view you that make it a functional attribute. But it really depends on your scope of your examination.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys buy this? Do you think this is something I made up or something that's actually real?
That's common.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, this is actually from a research paper. I didn't make this up. Have any of the males tried to play a female character and had this experience? Have any of the males played a female character on an MMO? Show of hands. Okay. So you haven't had this experience? Bailey, do you mind if I ask as a female gamer if you've had this experience?
So I was saying when I play like Xbox Live, I try my best not to talk into the mic because the gameplay experience changes. First, they think I'm a 12-year-old boy, and if you explain that, no, I'm sorry, I'm in college, girl. Or like in WoW, I was always a dwarf hunter with a huge beard, just so I wouldn't be bothered while I was playing. I didn't want the gameplay to be different because I'm actually a girl.
Bullshit beard.
So, yeah, this is a gray area. I think ideally we wouldn't want the gameplay to change if you choose a male or a female. You don't want to be harassed either way. But I mean, this is the reality of the situation. So, where do we go from here? So let me give you some stats. This was the 2002 kind of EverQuest study. He did it in 2001 and published it in 2002. Of the people that reported, 7.7% were female. This is of the reported people. 18.7% were male, but about equal percentages of males play female and vice versa. So that is interesting. That's just a side note. I think that you need to be careful, not to stereotype one way or the other, and we don't want gameplay to change whether you choose male or female. So, part 3, avatars. We kind of talked about their evolution, some kind of social implications. Where do we go from here? So, avatar customization. Huge deal nowadays, right? So we got the Me, the Xbox avatar, and the Sims down here. People love making their avatars. They spend a great deal of time. I think the Me is probably the least customizable of these, and it's still pretty complex. Look, you can choose 6 pages of 12 different types of hairstyles. Avatar rights, kind of a bizarre topic, but does the avatar kind of have any rights? There's a quote, avatars face the same social reward systems as are found on Earth. You kind of toil, you do work, and you're rewarded, right? So how many people have seen this shirt or feel this way? Just one more level, just one more level, just one more level. You kind of work hard, results in success, which makes you want to work hard again. Kind of, it's a feedback system. And that's present in the real world too, right? So already we're kind of seeing some parallels between the real world and the avatar's world. That shouldn't be 2 colons there, but Raf Koster, another researcher, kind of as a joke, drew up an avatar Bill of Rights. It's a lot like, the Constitutional Bill of Rights. He said things like, avatars have a right to existence. They can't be deleted arbitrarily by the person in charge. This is referring to MMOs. Avatars have the right to be treated equally. They have a right to pursue, land and items and everything. And he sent this out to a bunch of game researchers, kind of to see what they would say. Do avatars have rights? What do you guys think? Do they have the right to be treated equally? Do they have the right to existence?
Do they have any needs that I don't specify for them already?
Is that a question or a prompt?
That would be a counter rhetorical question.
Okay, good. Any other thoughts? So let's take a really seemingly obvious one, the right to existence, right? You have the right to kind of create a character and give them a chance at life, in the great avatar dream. Well, there are a couple things wrong with that. First of all, you're paying for this game for the most part, right? So you're kind of doing a service to the, it's a kind of an exchange. And also, what if you previously have a poor record or some kind of bannings or something? The game owner can kind of preemptively prevent your character's creation or birth. Also, where does the character live, right? He doesn't live in the United States of America or, the Earth, which is owned, by no man. He lives on a computer on, in somebody's server, which is in somebody's building that they paid for. So, right to life of an avatar? I don't know. What do you think?
I think you're muddling a few things.
Okay.
Where do you draw the line between the rights of the actual avatar and the rights of the player to play the game?
And again, I think that's a good point. As I've kind of shown in this presentation, there's kind of a lot of similarities and overlap between the two. So do you think that the players should have greater rights than the avatar, or what do you pose? Mm-hmm.
Well, like in a lot of things like what you're talking about right now, the rights of the player are the rights of the avatar as like the rights to life. I mean, the player is paying for this service, they should either be given the chance to have this avatar there, or they should be given back the money for the service or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts? So, we're talking of MMOs. Kind of you're paying for the service for the most parts. But what about like the Mii or the Xbox avatar that's freely created and shared online? You're paying for the service, but you're not really paying for like a game per se. You're not paying per avatar. Should Microsoft or Nintendo have the right to censor your avatar if they find it offensive, or just because they can? Kind of we're getting into a more gray area. So if you buy an avatar with like a racist shirt or something like that, should they have the ability to axe your avatar?
It's in the terms of service.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I think they preemptively censor it because they have their approvals process of what you can put on an avatar. At least in the specific instances you're talking about, it's all things that they put out there that you can get for your avatar. So they've already said, yes, this is okay to wear.
Okay. So there was a little bit of a to-do a few months ago, I believe, in the Xbox Live world, where Microsoft kind of reprimanded people for listing that they were gay in their profile. They censored that, and they asked them to take that down. They said, the terms of service say, do not talk about your sexual orientation or something like that. So this is a cosmetic attribute of your avatar. Doesn't have an effect on your gameplay. It doesn't say anything about whether you're a reputable player or not. But they, through their terms of service, decided to kind of quash that. What do you guys think about that?
In that case, I don't think the reason everyone got upset over it was because of the fact that they were going against terms of service, but they were specifically targeting people who said they were gay. I mean, there's plenty of people, if you go online and look through their comments and say, I like women or something, very straightly saying, I am straight, and they don't do anything about that. They don't have them remove that. It was more of it targeting one specific group of people. But
so, getting back to what Charles said, the rights of the player and rights of the avatar, they're kind of intertwined, right? In a lot of cases, the player and the avatar are kind of synonymous, or they're kind of the same. So do you have the ability to censor these things? Well, what if you're violating the terms of service, or what if you're paying for it? I'm not trying to pose an answer here, but really just to get you guys thinking. It's kind of a murky area. What rights the avatar have when the players spend so much time customizing them and putting their heart and soul into it. So it's a thought I want to leave you with. We did that. So that concludes the lecture. Hopefully you guys are familiar now with these learning objectives. You can define avatar, talk about the degrees of avatar freedom, compare and contrast some of the attributes of an avatar, talk about how they're hypersexualized, and then with the ethical stuff, kind of discuss the relationship between the player and the avatar. You guys have decided whether gender is really a cosmetic attribute or not, and you kind of were prompted to think, where do avatars go from here? So are there any questions? Thanks a lot for coming.